right back.
All right, sounds good. Okay, welcome to 1,000 Ways to be a Champion for Humans. We are broadcasting to you from the traditional home, the ancestral home of the Blackfoot people. My guest tonight is a lovely, lovely lady that I met with the library. At the library, and she has a lovely program where she educates people on Indigenous ways and celebrates Indigenous cultures. And she was even trying to teach me how to bead the other day. I wasn't very good at that, Marilyn. I tried, but But my guest today is Marilyn Contois, and she is truly a champion for youth, a champion for Indigenous people. Marilyn, thank you so much for coming and joining me.
Okay, Masabakazokwe Anishinaabe Kaz. Hello, my name is Marilyn Contois, and my Anishinaabe name is Shining Stone Woman. And I am Anishinaabe from Cowes First Nation in Saskatchewan. I'm the library technician at the Lethbridge Public Library and also Indigenous Services. And so thank you for the warm welcome, and I'm excited to be here this evening.
Yeah, excellent. Well, the program that I met you on, that you run at the library, a great program. I very much enjoyed the variety of the things that you have going on there. Tell us about that program more, Marilyn.
So one of the programs that we recently had is the Indigenous Learning Circle, Bannock and Jam. Initially, that was an in-person program, and we recently switched over to online temporarily due to the pandemic, with regards to the not being able to meet in person in groups, and a lot of different restrictions happening right now. And I'm hoping to.
Hey, Marilyn, when you've been doing them live, did you actually have Bannock and Jam? Did people have Bannock and Jam?
For one session or two sessions, we did. One of the first sessions, we did a medicine wheel workshop with Linda Weaselhead and myself and our summer student, Madison Singh. And we also had a cooking class in partnership with the Family Center, the Chinook Country Kitchen. And we did an online Zoom cooking class, and we made bannock and taco soup. We wanted to do Indian tacos, which is fry bread with the taco, but I'm thinking it was because of the grease. We weren't able to, for safety reasons, we opted for that. And yeah, we did that one online. People were able to pick up their cooking class supplies from the Family Center leading up to the day of the class. And so we're hoping to do another one like that in the near future in November or December. We're going to be doing berry soup.
Berry soup. Nice. Yeah. Nice. Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, so I really love your program. I think it's great. I've been on a few times, to part of it, and I've learned a couple words even, and that's been fun. But you have a big thing coming up. I think this is going to be real exciting. I'm going to find that little poster you sent me, and then we could speak to this a little bit, eh?
Sure.
Yeah. So there we go. We're sharing this on the screen, honoring Indigenous youth talent. Woo. All right, this is a great idea, right? Celebrate. Oh, yeah. Wow. Tell us more about it, Marilyn.
Originally, we were planning on having a round dance. It was going to be on October 30th, but we canceled that, and we're hoping to have one again in the new year. We were hoping to have one to honor residential school survivors, children, and families. And in lieu of that, I wanted to do something for the community, and especially honoring the young people of today and the talents that a lot of people may or may not know that they have in the community. Mm-hmm. So with that, I think a lot of youth, they know a lot of stuff that not a lot of us know about. So that means teachers, community members, and it's just their time to share what their talents are. And doesn't necessarily have to be native dancing. It could be whatever they're passionate about, whether it's like ballet, maybe it's Métis jigging, whatnot. And it's open for Indigenous, Inuit, and Métis youth ages 0, so tiny tots, to 18, who live in the Chinook Arts Regional Library area.
Nice.
And for those that enter and post their submission on the Facebook with the hashtag, there's a link that we'll share. It's on the website as well as the Facebook post. They could go to that and register, and then they'll get an email that tells them what to do next in regards to their Facebook post. They don't have to share their name or any personal information on the post itself, for privacy reasons. And we will be having a participation prize draw for everybody who enters their talent.
Nice. And so that's how they're going to enter, is by recording it and posting it on that Facebook group, and just make it not provide their name. That's the idea, right, Marilyn? Is that correct?
Yes, it's up to them. So it's explained in the email, follow-up email. Once they register on the link, it'll tell them, it's respecting their own privacy. They don't have to say where they live or what their name is, just the talent that they choose to share, and or if they want to talk a little bit about what nation they represent, whether that's Cree, Blackfoot, Métis, or even like what community that they're representing, such as city or town, if they want, or maybe they're from a community like myself from Cowessess First Nation.
Yeah, excellent. And the other thing that we talked about, besides like showcasing their talent and connecting them to other people who have talent, and kind of keeping the culture vibrant and alive and visible to everybody. Besides those things, how about you and I chatted about how about for the performer, how important that is for their well-being in order to express themselves artistically, or singing, or art, or dance, or whatever it is, whatever way they express themselves, how important it is for their mental health and well-being and physical health and well-being. Would you agree?
I agree with that. And I think right now, during the pandemic, it's hard to be able to practice these things at normal events that would occur, like a round dance, where people could share their round dance songs or dancing, or even at a powwow, or other events that might, be limited due to the pandemic. And then I think it'll be nice for other people to see all the local talent that, is around us that, we may not be aware of. And I know, like, for my daughter, she dances fancy, and I don't think she's been asked yet to dance for her school. And I think that, being an Indigenous person, especially in a time where we're coming out of a lot of history and healing, especially with everything that's been going on with the children being found, I think this is part of our healing and being true to our identity, and being able to share that and celebrate that. And I'm hoping that it leads to a bigger event in the future, like maybe next year, where we can have this event in person somewhere.
Wouldn't that be awesome, eh?
And maybe get other community members on board with regards to partnering with the event, in terms of prizes or venue, or the cost of maybe we serve a meal or something like that.
Yeah. That'd be great. Hey, the little girl in your poster, is that your daughter? The little girl in the pink dress, the pink with the yellow scarf?
No, that's actually my granddaughter.
Your granddaughter? Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah. What a little sweetie. The colors are amazing. Hey, what a beautiful outfit too.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, yeah. So that's very exciting. And hey, you know what? Everything has to start somewhere, but maybe next year, bigger and better and live and in person. Wouldn't that be something, eh? I
think, yeah, definitely. And then other stuff I'd like to do for the Indigenous Learning Circle in the future is, once we're back in person, I'd like to do, I'm trying to change the time to the evening, make it more available to families and people that are working or going to school and or on the weekend as well. And have like a practice night for dancing, and invite those youth that know how to dance to teach other people, and whether it's powwow or Métis dancing or whatnot, and including anybody that knows how to sing or drum, they're welcome to come and practice while everybody's practicing their dancing and enjoying being together again. And everybody could learn, anybody, any age, it's never too late to learn how to dance. And I think that brings a lot of healing. And Alan, we talked about it, when you get into that dancing or singing, you get caught up in the moment, and that's where a lot of healing happens.
Yeah, I agree. That was you and I think if I recall the conversation we were having, we were saying that Gabor Mate says that people who have substance abuse challenges or have experienced trauma in their life have a really tough time being in the present moment. But singing or dancing is a way to get to that present moment in a very enjoyable way, right? To enjoy that experience and to feel your body moving and feel the wind go through your hair and all the other lovely things when you're engaged fully, right? So,
yeah. And there's a lot of opportunity there for people to get involved. And I'd also like to include other opportunities down the road too, like regalia making. Because myself, like I dance powwow and I know how to make regalia, sewing, beading, making moccasins and stuff like that, providing that kind of instruction to people if they're interested in, having their kids or themselves want to learn how to take it a step further and make a regalia so that they could join in at these celebrations.
Yes. Now you had said your daughter dances fancy, and you just said that you danced what? It wasn't fancy. What did you say?
I dance jingle dress.
Jingle dress. And so how many different categories of dances, of Indigenous dances are there? So fancy's the whizziest costumes, the ones with the most regalia on them. Yeah.
Yeah. Fancy. They dance pretty fast and fancy with their footwork. Their regalia is fancy, unless they're dancing the old style fancy dance, because there's a contemporary way of dancing that style as well as the old style. And that goes the same for the jingle dress dance. You can dance it in the contemporary way, and it's very fancy with the footwork and the regalia, or the old style way, the original way of dancing it. And there's those, and then there's the women's traditional dancing. That's another style of dancing for the women. And in the men's category, they also have the fancy dance and the men's traditional dancers, men's grass, and chicken dancing. Chicken dancing originates here in Blackfoot country.
Okay.
That's where that style of dancing originated, was from here. And the jingle dress dance originated from the Anishinaabe Ojibwe people.
Okay. And for the jingle dance, your costume, your attire makes jingly, like you have like bells and such on it that makes noise when you're dancing. Is that correct? Or
yeah, regalia. We refer to it as a regalia because costumes are for like Halloween. So,
okay, I apologize. Your regalia. I apologize.
Regalia. Yeah. So our regalia has different meanings to things. So like with the jingle, how I was taught this dance when I was pretty young by a lady from Thunder Bay, Ontario. She taught the dance to me in the original way. And from what it was told to me was that a jingle dress would have 366 jingles on it. One is to represent each day of the year, plus one more to represent the person wearing the dress. So that's why 365 for each day of the year, and then one more for the dancer wearing it. And originally, you would take a whole year to make this dress and put one jingle on each day and pray with it. And because too, it's a healing dance, that's how it came about. And some people also refer to the jingle dress as the medicine dress.
Interesting.
Yeah, so an elder had a dream about the dress and the dance when his daughter was sick, and she needed healing. And so that's how this dress and the dance came about.
Cool. So it's a healing dress, a healing dance, and in creating that regalia, it's like a process. You said it could take a year that you put, you bless, if you will, each jingle that you build into that dress. Yes.
Originally, yeah. And then I
Yeah.
think, well, now a lot of people will just make an outfit, like use it right away. So, but I mean, I think a lot of people do still put their prayers into making it, and a lot of heart and love goes into making these outfits, regalias, and it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be a whole year. I mean, I don't want to discourage anybody, but you could make a jingle dress and take your time on it and put your heart and love into it and be proud to wear that and represent. And you don't have to be an Anishinaabe or Ojibwe to dance that style of dancing. It's become pretty popular amongst all the nations.
Okay. Okay. So it'd be one that has kind of more universal appeal, no matter which tribe, which group that you are participating in a dance with.
Yeah, that's
Yes?
correct.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. And how many jingle dresses do you have?
I get asked that a lot, and it changes from now and then because I do give some away. I've given one to my daughter recently. I currently have that are in use. I have I just made 3 since the pandemic, and then I've given some away. Currently, I have about 4 that I use for right now.
Yes. Okay. Got it. 4. Because you have to have different, you can't be seen in the same regalia doing the same dance, right? You have to have you have to mix that up, right?
I think it became, there was a time where I really only just had one dress and that was it when I first started dancing jingle. And until I was able to learn how to make these dresses, and someone said, like, is that the only dress you have? And that's where I was like, actually, yeah, that's the only dress I have. And that's where I was like, I really need to learn how to make new stuff, right? So, yeah, I think it's been popular where a lot of dancers at powwows will wear a new dress each day or each session of the powwow.
Right. Right. Yeah, exactly.
Because it became, not all powwows are contest, but a lot of powwows are contest where you don't have to contest if you don't want to. There's a lot of people that will go, you don't have to contest. You can just get out there on the dance floor and dance with your category and, do it that way too.
Got it. So you don't have to officially like be registered for it. You're just showing up and doing it and not for any, you're not in the competition. You're there participating just for your personal enjoyment kind of a thing more so.
Yes. Yeah. A lot of people do that too, and that's fine. And
yeah. And your daughters and your granddaughter, all dancers?
Yes.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. And so my family, my mom used to be a dancer and my dad, and so that's how I became a dancer. And it's never too late. And I mean, like, too, I think where the healing happened for my family was where my mom, she's a residential school survivor. Her and her family moved down to Minneapolis, Minnesota in the 60s during the 60s scoop. And she had younger siblings because my grandpa remarried after my mom's mother passed away. And they didn't want the little ones to get scooped up. And so that's where they moved. And that's where they really got involved in the powwow dancing and attending powwows and making regalia and teaching that to the next generation like myself.
In Minneapolis,
Minnesota.
Yeah. So because there, like here, there was prohibitions on Indigenous people speaking their language, doing their dancing, right?
That's right. And I think down there as well, there was a lot of movement back then where we were trying to fight for our rights to continue on the traditions of dancing and ceremonies and stuff like that. And that's where they focused on their healing in turning back to the culture.
Right.
And I think that was, something that really helped me too in my life moving forward, is to keep that, alive and keep that as, something that I enjoy doing and teaching my daughter and my granddaughter.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I mean, really, Indigenous people are a very resilient people. I mean, when you think about, what in North America, your experience that Indigenous people had, where basically they were trying to end them and their culture, right, and had 6 generations to stop the transmission of your oral, of Indigenous. And you're still here, your culture's still alive, you're still vibrant and strong. That's awesome, right? And it's amazing, like how resilient, really. Yeah,
exactly. And I think too that was part of we're all part of an answered prayer from our ancestors. I think maybe even before I was born, my ancestors were probably praying for us to, praying for the future generations, their grandkids, their great grandkids, and their lineage to be able to carry on in this world, because they knew how things were. And one of the things that stuck with me was that, what was it? My dad used to always teach that to me. Just always be proud of who you are, and nobody's better than anybody. And to just, always try hard and try to teach people, and not to be too prideful about it. And to be humble. And so and welcoming to people as well. Anybody that wants to learn, whether they're Indigenous or not. So I do get approached by a lot of different people at the powwows wanting to take my picture or learn about the dance. And that's where I find it as a really good opportunity to share with them, because they want to learn, and, always making that time to have that moment with them to share about the culture.
Yeah, I think it's awesome, because it's pretty foreign to, I think, a lot of people in terms of how inclusive Indigenous ways are, right? About where you're grateful for everything and you're connected to and I'm not saying just you, I think we are. I agree with you. I think that I agree with the Indigenous viewpoint that we're all connected, right? We're all, and that's part of the woes we have now, or all the disconnection we have between internally within ourselves and with other people, right?
That's correct. It just another thing that sorry, this is off topic, but it's not really. I'm not doing this with the library, but just having that, like, looking for, trying to learn something that you're passionate about. So for instance, all my life, I've always wanted to learn how to do hides, how to tan and brain tan and smoke tan, the traditional hides, moose or deer, elk, and that kind of thing. And that was something that I didn't learn growing up, but I know that my ancestors did that. I don't know how many generations back, but I recently found it. I think you could find it for yourself, whatever's on your heart, you could seek out for yourself and learn. So I met up with this Cree elder up north and was able to go and stay with her on her trap line in northern Alberta. And I learned how to smoke, tan, a moose hide. Yep. And then I just recently started working, I'm working on my first hide right now on my own without her. And tomorrow I'm actually taking the hair off a moose hide. And previously to that, we were taking the flesh off of it, and it's stretched out on a frame, and it's dry now, and there's a process to it. So I'm going to start doing that and continue the learning, but it doesn't stop there. I want to teach other people that want to learn. And this isn't what I'm going to be doing at the library, but I mean, if I had the space and venue, I would like to do that. But my hopes are to have a hide tanning camp this summer. And so I put it out there recently to hunters, people that have hides, or, they're hunting, and if they don't have anything to do with their hide or the brains, to keep it for me or give it to me.
Did you say the brains?
The brains, yeah. You use that in making softening up the hide.
Ooh, how so? Explain that.
You cook them.
The brains?
Yeah, with water and other ingredients. And then once you take the hair off, you put that on the hair side. fold up the hide and let that sit for a few days until you could continue on the process.
Interesting.
And that softens it.
Okay, well, I would have never known that, but
Yeah.
I'm sure that's not how they do it at the commercial tatting factories, but
Yeah.
that's how you and your people did it, so that's how you're doing it, right?
Yeah, actually, I went down to the Hutterite colony, one of the colonies that are local. I've been going down there for a while and getting hide. They do hides too, but they do it commercially. So
Yeah.
I bought an elk hide off of them, and I was telling them what I'm up to, and they kind of had a lot of questions about how do you get it the color of like, we dye it, and I'm like, in the traditional way of smoking it, that's what gives it its color.
Okay. Right. Where they would add dye in a commercial setting, you would add smoke to change the color of the hide.
Yeah,
Yes?
that's part of the process. So yeah, and I think anyway, what I was trying to get, my point is, whatever it is that's on your heart that you want to learn, I think just seeking it out for yourself and finding opportunities. And I mean, I'm trying to provide some of those opportunities at the library, and it doesn't stop there. People could, seek out these teachings from knowledge keepers that have that know-how or teaching that they want to learn.
So explain that to me, Marilyn, because there's like elders, there's knowledge keepers, and it's kind of like where you're sort of granted the rights to share a story, granted the rights. Is that kind of how it works?
I think knowing how to do something comes to you through learning by doing. So a lot in our way, I think a lot of times how we're taught something isn't through textbook or, it's by doing it. So you're learning by practicing that skill, and it's encouraged to continue on sharing these things once you learn it. So the elder that was teaching me this summer was telling me not a lot of people know how to do this anymore. And she was saying it would be good if the youth could learn. It would be good if this is passed down. And so if you ever want to share this with people, do so. And that's what I intend to do. And I don't want to charge anybody for that. I want to be able to provide it to people and teach kids and youth or families for free. And that's why I'm asking for donations of hides and brains. And I'm hoping to get a grant so that I could buy a bunch of tools to have those ready for the people that want to learn.
So hunting season is right now, right? Hunting season has started now, correct?
Yeah.
And so, okay. So then what kind of animals do you want? Because I know people with Fish and Game. I'm going to ask some people in Fish and Game to look out for a hide and brains for you. Because for you want for what? Elk?
Yeah, elk, moose, deer, that kind of thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So there must be scads of deer. Like, who uses the hide for deer? Like nobody, right? So
yeah. So a friend of mine that I used to work with reached out to me because she saw my post and she said, "Actually, we just got a deer today. What do you want me to do with it?" So she's got a big enough freezer. She's just going to hang on to it for me till I need it, and cool. At least I'll have a few, one extra hide for teaching people.
And then when you do all the so you teach them how to tan it, how to smoke it, how to do all those things, ultimately does that become, you're going to make it into like a garment?
Yeah, so it's used for moccasins, sometimes gauntlets, which are the gloves.
Oh yes, yeah.
Gloves, high top moccasins, mucklucks, that kind of stuff.
Cool. Yeah. That's great. Hey, I'm going to put up our little poster one more time, and we can just do a little reminder about that, because that's kind of more immediate. You're doing this right now, right?
Yes, we're doing this right now. We're doing the honoring Indigenous youth talent. And so it doesn't necessarily have to be a traditional talent. I mean, there's some pretty good skateboarders out there, people that are doing contemporary arts, story writing, poetry, drawing, musical instruments, singing, and all that type of wonderful talent.
That is awesome. So Indigenous, Inuit, or Métis youth, right up to age 18, from any starting age to 18, are encouraged to participate in this. And there's going to be prizes even just to participate. Correct, Marilyn?
Yes, that's right. And with the hopes of having, it's going to be something bigger next year and the following years.
Exactly. But yeah, get it out there now and give these youth an opportunity to show their talents, right? And to express themselves. That's awesome. So,
oh yeah.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. Did you know that did I tell you that I'm a big fan of singing for your health and well-being? Did I tell you that?
Yes, you told me that. I think that's awesome.
Yeah. So do you sing as well? Do you?
I do actually. I sing different songs. I don't do it publicly or live or anything, but I do sing. It's something that I like to do too. And I do it for my mental health and just wellness. And I get right into the moment of singing, and whether that's by myself or if my kids are here, and that's okay.
Yeah. No, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
So did you want to sing a song for us?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of, I do have a round dance song that I wanted to share. I was hoping I could have sang it at the round dance. I composed it quite a few years ago.
Oh, it's a song that you wrote.
Yeah, I composed a round dance song like.
Oh, I want to hear it. I want to hear it, Marilyn.
So the round dance songs, a lot of the songs are contemporary, and that's where English words are sung into that song.
Really? Okay, yes. That's interesting. Okay.
So there's English parts of this song. I don't have a drum on me right now, but I could give it a whirl just to kind of like give an example of what a round dance song is. And it's usually sung at a round dance, at a social gathering, and there's dancing going on. And a lot of times the songs that are composed, like every other song, like country and all that, a lot of it has to do with love. And so, yeah, if you listen to the lyrics of it, I don't know if you'll understand me when I'm singing, but there is some words that talk about that in there.
Well, let's hear it. I think, just think of this, Marilyn. Think of this. You've got 16-year-old Alice who's watching. Says, I want to enter that talent show, but I'm not so sure. And then Marilyn's going to set the example. Say, look at this is how easy it is. And then she's going to say, I got to do this.
Yeah, and so you could listen to round dance. You can Google round dance on YouTube and find examples of that and come up with your own songs and be creative. And that's kind of what I did. I had a love for round dance music, and I know how to sing somewhat, and I put together this song. And so here it goes.
All right.
Don't you know I'm missing you tonight? Cause baby, I'm missing you tonight. Yeah, I like to sing too.
That was awesome. That was great. Yeah. I heard about missing you tonight. Yeah, that's nice. So Marilyn's round dance. Marilyn made the round dance. Now, is the beat, is the rhythm, is the music like the same, and you add your lyrics to it? Like the round dance music, is it going to be the same to keep the dance the same?
Yeah, so there's a certain beat that goes with it on a drum. So it's a kind of like a heartbeat, kind of a drumming, and that's what you would sing to.
Right. Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks.
And then the people would dance to it, and we just kind of like jam out and have fun.
Nice. Well, you know what? Yeah. When there is a round dance in, like when we're live, and I'm gonna come. I'm gonna try that round dancing. I'm gonna give her a go.
Absolutely, yeah. And you just hold hands and give it a go and
Nice.
dance.
Nice. That's excellent. Anything else that we want to share? We're 7:35. We've been chatting for 35 minutes. So anything special else we want to share yet? Or do you think we should wrap this up, Marilyn?
Just to keep an eye out on the Facebook page if you want to know more about the Indigenous youth talent, and also any upcoming programs would be posted there, as well as the website. The Lethbridge Public Library website has a lot of that information that people might be interested in. And
great. So Indigenous youth, we want to invite them to be part of our that you got happening there. There's this potential you're going to do something with the hides later on. So if you're a hunter and you got a hide and some brains, Marilyn has a use for them.
Yes, absolutely. Right? I'm hoping to do this in the spring. So I'm waiting for school to be out June, and because it takes quite a few it's quite the process to do a hide. And I don't know if that's something I'll be doing with the library or just maybe something outside of that, but it's something I definitely want to teach.
Hey, Marilyn, smudges, it's really sweet grass that is dried and then you just light it, correct?
Yes, there's different forms of smudge. So yes, there's
sage. Is it sage? Is that what it is? The
smudging is the motion of using sweetgrass or sage or sometimes cedar, that kind of stuff, or juniper. A lot of times people use different things to smudge themselves with.
Got it. Yeah. But so it's basically taking the sweetgrass, let it dry out a little bit, bundle it, and then you light them and it kind of makes the smoke. And then smudging though is how you're kind of moving it over your body kind of a thing. Or
blessing yourself in your home or your vehicle or.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. And do you do smudges indoors then? Yes.
At home.
Yeah.
You can, and at the library, we did once during the medicine wheel workshop, and we explained the purpose of that, and we did that out on the patio. So
excellent. Yeah. Okay. Well, Marilyn, it's a pleasure to know you. I've had so much fun hanging out with you at Bannock and Jam, and I'm going to learn more from you in the future. I think that's great. And I encourage folks to check out Marilyn and the work she does at the U of L, and just check out, she's not just the U of L or U of L. I keep on saying U of L at the library, but also more. She's a big, what would you call it?
A youth advocate.
A youth advocate. Yes, a champion for youth. And you've had lots of experiences helping youth in your past too, correct?
Oh, yes. I've had a lot of experience as a youth care worker in previous jobs throughout, from working at the youth shelter or group homes, treatment centers, different venues like that. And, that's where my heart's at.
Yes, exactly. I mean, because if we can make a difference for some, a young person today, it could change the whole course of their life, right? If they
absolutely
if they get into a place where they can stay safe and they can, they can get what they need to have a good life, right? Remember, we chatted a little bit about there should be a hotline for aunties. If you need help, you got the hotline to call the auntie up, and everybody should have an auntie to help them, right?
Everybody should have an auntie. Exactly. And a lot of times too, like this is going off topic, but when I was working at the youth shelter, not here, but in another province, a lot of the youth, a lot of them were Indigenous. They, even though we weren't related by blood, they'd say, you know what, Marilyn, it feels like you're my auntie or something. And I'm like, if you see me that way, then that's okay. Like, I honor that. And, I feel very blessed that you think of me like that. And we're here for you. And, I used to see a lot of talent come through the doors. This one young man, he, became a writer, and he shared his writing with me, and I told him to take it far. And lo and behold, like I still hear from him. He is now he has his Bachelor of Social Work. Because he asked me one day at the shelter, what is it going to take for me to work at a place like this? Because I think this is where my heart's at. I want to do what you're doing.
Nice.
I gave him the, what he needed to do. And then years later, he ended up working at my old job. He ended up getting his Bachelor of Social Work and focusing on his talent, his story writing. And he just became, I think of him and I'm just really, I think anybody could do what they want to do. They just have to have that support and encouragement.
Yeah, exactly. And in his case, lucky for him, he had Auntie Marilyn giving him a little guidance and a little encouragement. Hey, so
Oh yeah. Yeah.
nice.
And if you could do that for somebody, just be that person to, see them in a different light than
Yes.
maybe they see themselves.
I'm a big fan of lyrics. And there's this song that I love, and it's got a lyric that says this: "My life was torn like a windblown sand, but a rock was formed when you held my hand."
Oh my goodness, that is beautiful.
It is. So you think about if you're in a position that you could be there for somebody, hold their hand for somebody, and that stabilizes their life, that becomes the rock that they can build onto a better life. That's amazing.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that. You'll have to email me that quote.
All right, I will do it.
Hang on to that one. That's awesome.
Sounds good. Well, Marilyn, it's been a pleasure, and I will leave you to your evening, and maybe we could do this again another time.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for having me, and Miigwech, thank you, and have a wonderful evening.
Miigwech.